Alright, today we're going to be looking at some alternative redstone circuits that I designed that are better than the ones that are used standard ones, and some new redstone circuits, new concepts here. So let's start with these. These are all the same, just different versions. The different versions of this one right here. This is what is known as an RS NOR latch. So this button here would turn the system off. As you can see, this stuff over here is off, and this one would turn it on. But if it's already on and you press the on button, it doesn't do anything. And if it's off, as you can see right there, pressing it won't do anything because it will only turn it off, and it's already off. Here's the same design, except it's one wide and it's 4 blocks tall. Well, it's 4 blocks tall if you don't include the redstone lamp, which is just there to show. And it's 1 block wide. So I believe this one turns it off. This one turns it on. And if it's on, stay on. And if it's off, you press it again, it'll stay off. And so here, for this one, I've made it a little bit different. It uses a piston instead, so it's already on. But if we turn it off, it's nice and good. And if we turn it on, just like so. Here, I've made it, in this version, tileable, so they can be right next to one another. And if we turn it on, see, they all turn on independently, and they all can turn off independently, however, which way you choose. And it's actually it's basically this design right here, except instead of that redstone dust, you have to have repeaters. Because if you had redstone dust, I'll show you what would happen. Try and do anything, it wouldn't stay because it just wouldn't work the same. So let's just make sure it has to be a direct signal. Here I've made it a little bit better. I've hidden the redstone a bit more, so if you wanted to actually hide this, you could go like this and then put walls here and the redstone would be completely hidden. So instead of having to look at this redstone in the back, you can hide it a little bit better now. And so I think one turns it off. So this one, turn it on, it's all tileable, and then you can turn them all off. Whichever way you like to do it, we'll turn it off and on. And just uses a little bit more resources. There probably is a more efficient way you could do this. For example, you could have alternating between some dust. And something's not right here, but over to reset this. So, see, now there's less repeaters, and it should work the same, but I guess I've done something wrong here. So let's quickly take this out. And I know what the reason is, because redstone dust here would get powered from that. So it turns out I was wrong. You can't do that. But what you could do, yeah, there probably is a way to make this better, but this is the best way I can think of right now. So let's just turn that one on. Just like that. So those are all the different ways you can do this, and you can just see from the side here how to build it. Nice and simple. There's nothing too crazy going on here. Just a quick glimpse should be enough to know how to build this. And now onto this. These things over here are 1-tick pulse generators using very simple resources. So the typical way of doing this would be to let's grab some stuff here and I'll show you how to build it. This is the typical way that you would do it. You would have this, that, and that. Now we can see a very short pulse is generated. Like so. And if we have a block there, then we'll do that. That's the typical way of doing it. But here we have a different way, using only very few resources here. One wide, again. I like making things one wide. Works the same, but it's in reverse, which is kind of pointless, but also works the same here with a little bit of different circuitry. You can see how it works. There's nothing on the top here, it's just this. And here we have falling edge, so I'll just do it at the end of the pulse. Here we have where we can use this to actually generate 1 tick pulses. All you have to do is have this with a piston right there. And it will work just the same. Here I have made the same thing but tileable. So you can see I'll turn them off as I press them. And then turn them on once again as I press them. And you can once again just look at it from here, see how it works. I'll explain this version right here because it's simpler. Actually, this one is probably the simplest. So what happens is when you press this button, it turns off this redstone torch, which turns off this redstone, but it also means that this redstone torch will turn on. So for a very brief moment it will be off, but it'll instantly turn on again from this redstone torch. That's why there's a very, very short pulse. And it's quite simple stuff.